Here we are in section 3.3, which is on angles of polygons. So, these are your vocab words. A polygon, poly, this prefix here, means many, right? Think of like polytheism, many gods. You probably talk about that in your social studies classes when you're studying historical religions. So a polygon is a closed plane figure. Closed is an important word, right? This is not a polygon. That is not a polygon. They have to be closed. A plane figure made up of 3 or more line segments that intersect only at their endpoints. Okay? So, a circle, not a polygon. A half circle, rainbow kind of thing, again, not a polygon. To be a polygon, it has to be closed. It has to be made up of line segments, 3 or more. And they have to only intersect at their endpoint, so that's not a polygon either. Okay? So, things that are polygons, triangles, right? Composite figures that only intersect at their endpoints again. And it can have any number of sides. So, a key idea here, the sum of the interior angle measures of a polygon with n sides is, so the sum of a polygon with n sides, so n number, any number of sides, times 180 degrees, okay? This must be in your notes. So, S equals sum of interior angle measures. N equals the number of sides. Alright, so we're going to use this a lot. So if you look at a shape that has 5 sides and we want to know the sum of the interior angle measures, well, you have S equals n minus 2 times 180, right? So n equals 5. So you plug 5 in. 5 minus 2 times 180 equals 3 times 180. So S equals 540 degrees. So that is the sum of all of these angles. Okay, now you try one. Here's your first practice problem for this video. So this is one for 3.3 now. If you have a shape with 6 sides, what's the sum of the interior angle measures? So let's look at another example. Here we have this polygon, and I want you to find, we need to find x, right? Well, first we need to know what the sum of all the angles has to be. So if we count up the sides, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So n equals 7 in this case, right? N represents the number of sides. So we have our formula. Sum of the interior angles times equals n minus 2 times 180. So first we find out what the sum of all the angles needs to be. 5 times 180, S equals 5 times 180, 900 degrees. Okay, so the sum of all these angles in this polygon has to equal 900. So now you set up an equation and you add all of these sums together, right? You add all of those and you set them equal to 900, right? Because that's what the sum of them has to be. So you get, when you add all of them together, you get 778 plus x equals 900. Subtract 778 from both sides, and you get x equals 122 degrees. So the value of x is 122. So step 1, you find out what the sum of the interior angles should be for that polygon with n number of sides, and then you solve for x. So let's have you try these ones, okay? So this will be practice problem number 2, and this will be not 5, this will be practice problem number 3 for this video, okay? So find out what the sum of the interior angle measures should be using the formula S equals n minus 2 times 180. Then add them all together and set them equal to that number, and then solve for x. Alright, so there was another vocab phrase in the beginning of this video, and that was regular polygon. In a regular polygon, all the sides are congruent, and all the interior angles are congruent. So they're all equal. So a square would be a regular polygon, right? All the sides are congruent, and all of the angles are congruent. So in this case of a regular polygon, you don't need to be given any information other than the shape, right? You don't need any numbers. Because if you have a square, and it wants you to, well, let's not do a square. Let's do a regular hexagon, okay? Just pretend that all of these sides are congruent and all of the angle measures are congruent. If you have a regular hexagon and you need to find what each interior angle measure is, you can just go S equals n minus 2 times 180. The sum equals 6 minus 2 times 180, right? Because n in this case is 6, equals 4 times 180. S equals 720 degrees. All right, so that's the sum of the 6 angles. If there are 6 sides, there are 6 angles, right? So if you divide the sum by 6, you get that equals 120 degrees. So that is the measure of each interior angle. So the sum of the measures of the interior angles is 720, but each individual one is 120. So you just, if it's a regular polygon, you find out using this formula the sum of the interior angles, and then you just divide that by the number of sides, by n. Alright, one last key idea here. So the sum of the measures of the exterior angles of a convex polygon, and convex polygon is, that's what we deal with for the most part, is 360 degrees. So take a look at this image. We have W, Z, Y, and X are all exterior angles, and they all add up to 360 degrees, okay? So that is just something you need to memorize as well. So if we had a triangle like this, except I'll erase this little bit there. Okay, here's our triangle, and this angle is Z plus 26, all right, this angle here, and this angle is Z, and this one here is 124 degrees. So 1. Find Z. So you would just go 124 plus Z plus 26, right? Which is this, equals 360. And then you get 2Z plus 150 equals 360. Subtract 150 from both sides. You get 2Z equals 2, 2z equals 210, divide by 2, z equals 105. And that would be your answer. Okay? So now you're going to try one, and then you will be done. So this is your fourth practice problem for this video. All right, so just find x. And as you start that, just to recap, the sum of the interior angles of a polygon can be found with this formula, right? Sum equals the number of sides minus 2 times 180. And then the sum of the exterior angles of any convex polygon always add up to 360 degrees. Okay? I will see you in class next.